What's going on, everybody? This is Coach Reg, aka Mr. Intensity, and my job is to invoke thought and help awaken the world's consciousness one person at a time. Hopefully that person is you. Now, my spiritual awakening video got a lot of emails and a lot of conversations, and a lot of people have been asking me, what kind of ascension symptoms did I go through? What did I learn from those symptoms? And what happened when I passed through a lot of those symptoms? Because my spiritual awakening literally has just begun. I mean, yes, I'm honest. Yes, I'm different. But I have a lot of ways to go. Yes, I've astral projected. Yes, I've done lucid dreaming. And this video would be way too long if I went into just those two topics alone. So I'll talk about them a little bit. But I'm going to talk about 11 to 12 things in this video that I went through, that I'm going through, things that helped me, things that changed me, things where I can never literally go back. And I'll say a couple of things that you can probably go ahead and research it before I make the next video about it. But in the meantime, so I don't fumble around, what I do is normally write them down on my computer, because normally I could stay on one topic for like 20 minutes alone. So I have to literally write them down because I jump around a lot when it comes to this stuff. So because my brain is still trying to take this stuff in, you know, about the world and everything. When you find out the planet that you're living in is not the planet that you're living in, you're like, you don't know really, it's kind of hard to really talk about it or even deal with it internally. So let's talk about number one. When I found out the world was not the world that I was living in. What does he mean, the world? Okay. There are powers that be. I put it in my other video, that control this world. They control literally everything. I'm talking about hip-hop, I'm talking about TV, I'm talking about movies, I'm talking about media, the newspapers, the news, the TV shows. They control everything. Now, the subconscious of your mind is being controlled when you kind of listen to this stuff, especially with the music. Certain things they put into music, you don't realize they put in music to control your mind, because it breaks through your barriers in your mind that other things normally can't break through. Now, when I found out there's powers that be that control everything, and who or what controls, like one thing is, you know, the Vatican, pretty much, if you look up where your birth certificate is owned, the Vatican actually owns your birth certificate. Like things like that, like, you know, I mean, the Bible, it really blew me away, you know, because most people who tell you about the Bible to follow it actually didn't read the Bible, like did the whole thing, like word for word. It's different when you read the Bible, you know, with your regular eyes, and you read it with your third eye, like between the lines, and then you find the truths about the Bible, which is why I had to leave religion. You know, it's like, you can do whatever you want to do, but for me it was like a no-brainer. It was like, yo, this is crazy, like, what? And then there's hidden books that you know, they took out the Bible. That's why they call it El Biblico. That means little book. You know what I mean? It's a little book because it was once a lot bigger, and how the Bible was made, but that's a whole nother topic in general. And I'm still studying a lot of that stuff, because I know when I go into that book, people and Christians are going to come at me with everything they got, and I want to be prepared for that, because people in my family is going to be prepared for that. So when you find out the world is literally not the world you're living in, you're like, what do I do now? Like, I want to leave this planet type stuff, right? Or I want to leave this country, you know, and I'm looking into it. If anybody knows a good place outside the country that somebody like me could move, and, you know, and I experience what I'm going through in this country, hit me up, because I'm actually looking to leave this country after the things that I'm finding out about it, like who controls it, you know, about aliens, that they actually do exist, and that they're living here, you know, amongst us, and they're monitoring us, and things of that nature. And this stuff might be a little bit weird, which leads me to my next subject, the friends thing. You know, when you go through a spiritual awakening, you lose a lot of friends, because that spiritual awakening time is meant for you to actually figure who you are. Now, once you figure who you are, 9 times out of 10, the friends that you were hanging with won't be your friends anymore. And it's not by their choice, it's probably going to be by your choice, because you're going to realize that you are so separated and not thinking about the same things, or even worrying about the same things, or believing the same things as them. You turn your belief into a knowing. See, belief is the absence of knowing. You believe because you don't know. You have faith because you don't know. But when you actually know things are going to happen, you start to create other things for yourself, which that's my next thing to get into. But you will lose people that believe in anything. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm talking about believing. It's not just religion. It's like just regular stuff people are afraid of and scared of. And you realize that this world is not. You're afraid of the wrong things. And the worries, like people getting shot or the news, like when people talk about the news, I'm like, that stuff is out there to perpetuate massive amounts of fear in you. So you can be afraid to walk outside, and then you look at everything and like see what they're implementing and what they're preparing to implement, and then you do the research, and there's plenty of bases that they put all over America, and it's very strategic, and you're able to see the truth behind it all because your third eye is literally like wide open, and the stuff that you see, you're really not comfortable with it. It really depresses you to a fault because you realize your comfy little planet that you're living in is not your comfy little planet that you're living in. You're living in a cesspool of fear, but you have to literally figure out how to get out of that. So literally you have to separate yourself from your friends because those people are still in that light and they're still worried about the dumbest shit on earth. Like, I'm dead ass serious. Like, they're worried about like who's like if Beyonce's pregnant and they're excited about that. Like I'm not worried about their lives. Like, I'm living my own life. What makes them more important than me? Or this dumbass show of Love and Hip Hop or CSI or Scandal. Like, and then it's the dumbest shit on earth. People actually get mad at the TV shows. Like, these people actually really are doing this. The sports. Like, they really like. I used to get emotional too. Like, I got emotional as hell. Like, when the Cleveland Cavaliers won a championship last year, like, I was really happy for them. You know what I mean? I was happy for LeBron until I realized that was set up too, and they damn near gave him a championship. You know what I mean? It was like, it's all a storyline, and when you realize that, most life that people go by and live by is mostly a storyline, you realize that, I don't need to be talking about this shit. Like, small talk to me is like the most useless point of conversation in the world. And I don't got time for it. Like, that's why, like, if you see me in public, I'm just quiet. I'm really quiet. See me in the barbershop, I don't say a word because the shit that's about to come out of my mouth, you ain't prepared for that because I'm only here to uplift humanity now and myself and my being. And most people don't understand who they are just yet and haven't even experienced or even know what the hell being awakened is. Which means that a lot of times you're going to get a lot of people who don't understand what you're saying, so you kind of don't want to say it at all because you don't feel like being embarrassed or you don't feel like being made fun of. Maybe your life decisions may change and you become vegetarian and people make fun of you for becoming a vegetarian. In the end, you're actually healthier than most people, but the majority are not vegetarian, which means that some people might make fun of you. Now, some people won't that are still meteors, but some people will make fun of you and kind of mock you. Like the other night, I was out at the bowling alley, and I'm not gonna say who said it, but somebody was like, they were taking shots, and I was like, I don't drink no more. And somebody was like, damn, yo, you strong as hell for not drinking. Like, how you just don't up and drink no more? You were drinking with us like 4 or 5 months ago, and they actually got a little upset because I wasn't drinking. Like, you think you're better than us? People will think that you think that you're better than them, okay? Because you have found a better version of yourself, and that makes them think about themselves a little deeper, and then they'll be like, well, you must think you're better than me then. You must think you're better than me, Like somebody said, you can't take shots, you can take a vegetarian shot. Like, like funny little dumb shit like that, And you gotta be strong, and you gotta be focused within yourself. I'll let people get a rise out of you, because I will tell you right now, people are going to test your spirituality. People will test to see if you mean what you say, because if people know you, like friends, family, they actually knew you before your spiritual awakening, they will literally test you and see if you're full of shit, and they will see, and they're sitting around waiting for you to eat your first piece of meat, or they're sitting around waiting for you to slip and go back into life that you proclaim to leave. So my advice is to pretty much have strength. Also, when you're awakened, you'll feel that energy blocks are being released, and this is a painful process. You will go through massive amounts of confusion at times. You will go through massive outbreaks of anger or fear or sadness, or happiness. It's your blocks being removed. Like, you will go through a lot of different things in your spiritual awakening that you're not prepared for, and you're not going to be understanding why it happens. Most people want to get through their spiritual awakenings really fast because they don't understand that, this particular thing is something you can't even fathom just yet, because you have not really even begun to contact or to link up or sync with your spirit body and your physical body. And your physical body is so used to the fast fix or speeding things up, like taking a pill or rushing it, that you are so not patient with the process. So you try to rush it and be like, I just can't wait to get through it. Like, you can't be like that. You have to literally be patient and understand that you must wait and wait and wait until the right time, because everything happens at the right time. It's called synchronicity. And this is when you start seeing angel numbers and things of that nature. And I'm going to make a video about what angel numbers mean. I'm going to try to find my best research on what they mean, because there's a few that mean different things. So I'm going to try to find the best, because it's a lot of stuff it means. I see them things all the time. People hit me up saying they see them all the time, and it means that you're in sync, or synchronicity. Your angels are talking to you, and all the numbers have meanings behind them, because that's how the universe communicates with you. Through numbers. How the angels communicate with you through the numbers. That's how they talk to you. And if you know what they mean, you'll feel more comfortable to understand that if you're seeing synchronicity, everything is okay. It's going to be okay. You can't worry about these, external things that are happening. Even if you might be going through like bill problems, or you left your job, or your business is falling off. These things are going to happen. Relationships, and you're going to lose things. But I can guarantee you, when you lose things, the things that are going to replace the things that you lose are going to be tenfold. Now, this leads me into my next topic, which is the reason why what led me into my spiritual awakening, because I was researching it when I was going through things that I didn't understand. It was manifestation, the law of attraction. Now, I'll make a video by itself about this, but I will get into this a little bit. Manifestation is going to probably be the hardest thing you ever had to do, because it requires that you take your worry away. Because here's the thing, if you want something, right, don't think about the actual thing. Think about the happiness it will bring, and you feel that feeling. So imagine if you want a house, right? Imagine and see yourself, we call it visualization, and see yourself in a house and feel that joy and hold on to that joy. Now, with holding on to that joy, the universe will move out the way. If you ever heard that interview with Will Smith, you might want to look it up. He says the universe is like water; it wants to move, it wants to flow, and you have to literally let go of every worry and just understand and know. See, we're not in the belief, we're in the knowing. You have to literally know what's going to happen. Just like when you get in your car and you know you're going to get to work, it's the same thing. So if you have energy blocks there, at the end of, or close to, your Ascension. I don't even know what the end of my ascension is. I've evolved so much. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just being who I am, and I'm doing everything I must do to get there. And things are happening for me that are past incredible, all at the same time, but in the right time. Because if you think that you need a car right now, say if you don't have a car, right? I'll give you an example. And you need a car right now, maybe it's not the right time. But when it happens, it will happen. But when you worry, you create resistance. And resistance creates barriers. Worry equals resistance. Resistance equals barriers. Barriers equal your manifestation not happening. Now, I'll give you a little example how manifestation worked for me. In June, when I was going through a massive, I think I went through the worst month of my business in July, right after all that stuff happened with my friends, or whatever you want to call them, business partners. And I pretty much, lost my car. It broke down for good, and I had no vehicle. I didn't have any money to get a car. But I knew that I was learning manifestation. So the exercises that I did, I wrote it down on a piece of paper that I want a car. But I didn't hold that paper. I didn't put the paper on the wall. I just wrote like some scrap paper and just like threw it away, whatever. Like I forgot what happened to it. And then every time I had borrowed somebody's car, and every time that I drove the car, I used to think about me being in the actual car that I wanted. I didn't know. I just knew I wanted a newer car, not like a 2007. I wanted 2012 and up, something like that. because I hadn't had that yet. I haven't had a newer car over 2008 in my life at the point. And I wanted something like that, something reliable, because I went through so much nonsense with my old car, you know, fixing it up. I'm a mechanic. I'm a mechanic. I can fix cars, but I don't want to have to be out there fixing alternators and drive shafts all the time. I want something that's reliable with a nice warranty. I had a Mercedes Benz that was like 2006. I bought it from my dad, and it had like 237,000 miles on it. And it kept on, things kept on going wrong with it, and you know, it was all the time. And I got tired of it, so I said I wanted a new car. I didn't know how I was going to get it. The credit wasn't looking okay. How I'm going to get it? And then all of a sudden, it happens. I get it. I go to the dealership. You know, something happens. Situations line up. Insurance lines up. Money lines up. You know, and boom, I got a new car. So it's like, wow, this is crazy. Like I told myself. They say you shouldn't say a date. I told myself a date that I was going to do it. And maybe you shouldn't do that, because when you tell yourself a date, you put pressure on yourself, creating resistance, because you get closer to the date and you don't understand how it's going to happen. I kind of did a little bit, but I kind of just let it go, like just stop worrying about it. So I said I was going to have it by August 1st. When I told my kids when they got back from their mother, visiting their mother for the summer, I said when they got back, by the time we go to football camp, I'm going to have a new car. And boom, damn it, it happens on July 31st, I get a new vehicle. August 1st, they come, I stroll in there with a new vehicle. Wow, right? I'm going to give you another reason that thing happened. I'll give you two things. A lot of things happen. Like, look, you're here because it happens. I'm not worried about, you know, my clientele. I put that one down, the clientele thing. The clientele is coming out of, is a record number of people that are coming to me, and I'm doing programs for it. My YouTube is blowing up. I don't even, like, in the past 2 weeks, it's crazy, right? So, the other day, my kids, they wanted a basketball court. And I didn't know how I was going to get it. I just knew that I would have to spend like $250 on a basketball court. I saw it at some store. And I just took away the word. I didn't even worry about it. I said, yeah, you'll get a basketball court, so don't even worry about it. It's going to happen. Next day, somebody knocks on my door, the next door neighbor, a young high school kid, and says, hey, I noticed your kids outside dribbling the basketball. Like basketball? I was like, yeah, I like basketball. They're little athletes. He says, well, this house down the street that, see down the street, they're doing some construction on the house. They're remodeling the house, and there's a basketball court in the backyard. I'm like, what? He said, well, I mean, I don't need it, but I'll get my guys to bring it down here, you know, for your kids. I'm like, he says, it's a really nice one too. So the next day I was like, what? So the next day I go back there and look at it, and it's like a $1,200, $1,500 basketball court. Has a little thing that pulls up and everything. Boom, my kids got a basketball court. So that's two signs of manifestation. You might want to look into manifestation and exercises that you can do. I do visualization. I do. I increase my frequency, my vibration. You are what you attract. So if you start feeling like you're rich, you know, and you vibrate richness. But I want you to stop worrying about the actual money. I want you to think about and hold on to the feeling that money brings and having the things that money can buy brings. Feel that, and you'll have the money that comes to you. You feel me? So don't worry about the money. Worry about the feeling it brings, because I guarantee you, if money had no value, you wouldn't even care for it. So money is not the thing that you want. The thing that you want is what money can buy that makes you feel the way you feel. You feel me? So you might want to get away from, you know, worshiping the money. All right, the next one. I can no longer accept the rules created by men, which is the reason for this, right? Now, I'm going to get it done, because that's the society, that's what they want. But it's hard for me to accept rules now that men have created, like church and weddings and just all these rules society has made. You know, like, well, why do I have to celebrate holidays? Like, who made that up? And nobody questioned this stuff. You start to question things, and you start to go against the grain for everything. Now, I've always been a rebel in my family. I've always been the one that's been gossiped about and talked about, because I've always been doing some dumb shit to be talked about, right? But so I'm used to being resistant to rules ever since I was a kid. And that might be, you know, if you have been resistant to rules, you might have, you know, been closer to your spirit than you think, and you understand that this is all bullshit, this is all false, and you might want to go against it just because it doesn't make sense to your spirit being, you know. So when you have your ascension, you look at everything like, this doesn't make any sense, so why do I have to follow it? Because this person is following it, Why do I have to be here and vote for Trump or vote for Hillary if both of them are bullshit? Why do I have to vote in general? Because you understand that voting is bullshit as well. Because you understand that the people, whoever they want to win, wins the election. So when you understand that this stuff is like just a system, a matrix that's controlled, that controls you, you'll understand that you don't have to follow none of this stuff. You create your own reality, and then your actual reality will start to change. And it won't just start to change; it will change out the planet, and you'll literally be out in another planet inside this planet. That's the best way I can, pretty much explain that to you. Now, when your family doesn't agree with you, and I can guarantee they won't agree with you, they'll try to challenge you, and they will challenge you because they know you. They know you know you. My best bet is don't even fight them. Just don't even argue. Because when energy blocks are moved, you have to learn how to not let people get a rise out of you. Because sometimes people that know you will try to get a rise out of you to test your chin. This goes back to my last point. But you have to literally start practicing meditation. Breathing, because I can even notice when I play basketball, I do a lot less arguing and fighting. I let it go. I'm more peaceful in the basketball court. My friends probably, they noticed it, but I don't like to argue and fight that much. It's like, whatever, okay? It's only a game. Before, B-ball was life. Basketball was life. Ball-aholic I am. And when you do meditation, that controls your emotions. Emotion is not really real. Emotion is another word for energy. They try to get away from all these words that have you to know yourself. They say emotion, you're emotional. You're not emotional, just something controls your energy. Your energy is weak. You might have energy blocks. So emotion is actually energy. And once you control your energy, you'll understand that you control everything else. You control your temper. You control the way you react to certain situations. If you get your car repoed and you lose your house, or you lose your job, you understand that it's all for a master plan. There's no mistakes to anything. So you kind of remain calm because you understand that everything is going to work out just as it must work out. And then that removes your resistance away. And then your manifestation can come, and then blessings can come into your life because you don't worry anymore. And then your world is going to start to move. Okay? Now, with this process, you will be alone. You might be alone for a long time. You might have one friend. It was very hard to do this. That's why I'm glad I have my fiance in my life, and she helped me out greatly because, in the beginning she wasn't going through none of this, but now she's going through it. And it hasn't been as aggressive as mine because I have kind of walked her through it and coached her through it, because I went through it first. But you will be alone, and you have to get used to being alone in the process. Humans are pack animals, so we kind of need people. I feel like we need people, but in this is a situation where you might be alone. There's no real big groups for this kind of stuff. Everybody's the best way I was able to cope with it is to go on YouTube and find videos like Victor Otto and Infinite Waters and Nasir Ra and the real Merkaba and cope with the things that are going on in this world. To help me out, like Teal Swan. That people that have went through the full, ascension, and they can coach you through it. This is the best bet I have. Like people like me on YouTube that can really talk to you and tell you what's really going on with your ascension. So you will be alone, and don't worry, because when you're ready when you fully ascend, the newfound friends and family that you will have, and the newfound you will be impenetrable. You will be like an armor walking around with full confidence. So don't trip about it, because you'll be fine. Now, when you realize that time doesn't exist, it will blow your freaking mind. Now, you ever see Doctor Strange? If you do, just try to watch it. You'll realize that there's two realms, maybe three, but there's this reality realm and the other realm, right? And you'll realize that the world that you're living in doesn't really exist the way it does, because you astral project, and you realize like you be an astral projector for a long period of time, and 3 minutes of this reality could probably have passed, and it felt a lot longer. Or when you go to sleep, I'll get into those in another video, but that's a little something. Like when you realize time doesn't exist, you'll understand that time is just made up, and you'll understand how to take your time, because this days and these hours and these years that might seem like a long time to you is not a long time at all. but once you're patient and you learn to accept the process, you will understand time a little bit better, and you will not be impatient. You'll be patient, and you'll learn how to not rush everything, because everything is in the right time. Lucid dreaming. Once you do lucid dreaming, you realize that there's more than one reality. There's the reality of your conscious, and there's this reality of your subconscious. You have the left and the right side of your brain. The left side of your, the left side of your brain is what they call the analytical brain, and the right side of your brain is like the creative part of your brain. You have two minds. I'll get into that in another video as well, because all this stuff here is like, they're all videos on its own, but I'll touch into them a little bit. You might want to look at the stuff up that I'm saying, because it's crazy. And once you go to sleep and you are able to control and manifest your dream, like watch Ascension, like this shit is real. You can be in a dream inside a dream sometimes. I've done it, but you're like in a whole entire dream, and you literally can control it. That's when you realize that even though that your reality here is sleep, your subconscious reality just begins. And once you learn how to control and manifest in that, manifesting in your actual reality becomes massively easy, because you'll understand that sleep is not really that, like, you're not really like it's like just not black. You dream a lot more vividly, so that's another one. Let me see what we got going on here. Oh my God, the bullshit and energy meter is at an all-time high. Like, I call bullshit on everything. I'll give an example, right? So I'm watching the All-Star game, okay? And like, I'm like, okay, Cousins is sitting the bench, that must mean they're going to trade him. And then they trade him. Okay, they took Russell Westbrook out the game, so that must mean they don't want him to be MVP. And they didn't, because he was catching Anthony Davis, the guy they wanted to take over. They want a few players to take over LeBron's position in the NBA. I think that Jordan, like, they were mad when Jordan came back to the Wizards because they were done with him. They used him up. That's what they do to our black athletes. They use them up like slaves. Pay them a nice ransom, use them for advertisements, and then they putting out the pasture just like the slaves. It's a different mentality. College basketball as well, because that's also a slave game. They don't pay these kids, but they make millions off of them, and then promise them a bullshit education, or some of them go to the NBA. My bullshit meter at an all-time high, so you really can't bullshit me. I can feel your energy from miles away. So if you feel some way about me, I can feel it over the phone. If you're thinking about me, I can feel it. If I'm watching a show, I can't watch TV anymore because of that reason. Because it's all BS. Like I watch these shows and I'm like, wow, they're trying to perpetuate, that black people are angry people who only care about material things and money. So when you see a white person that doesn't really know about black people, you'll understand. You don't understand why they're really just scared of you because of what they see on TV. If somebody who watches TV all the time, never really met a black person, but they watch TV, you'll think black people are the most violent, vicious people on earth, because that's what they put on TV. They portray that. Just like in Scandal, they got this black woman who sleeps with everybody and is a power fiend. Her black daddy, who is a power fiend as well, and has raised her to perpetuate, the black woman, that to make them think the black woman is horrible, and she wants to steal the white man from her. But it's all bullshit. That black people are violent people and cruel people, and then people who are black watch it and they start thinking this is really the reality too. So it's really all a game they play, And I'm like, I see it a mile away, so I can't let my kids watch certain things and experience certain things or listen to certain things, because it literally programs your subconscious to understand that this reality, and your subconscious controls 95% of what you do. Your analytical mind controls 5%. Your subconscious controls 95%. So you understand how powerful the subconscious mind really is, which is wow, right? And I'll get into that soon. I have before that, watching movies. I'll name a few movies. They are different. If you watch The Matrix after you're awakened, it will change your life and you'll put things in perspective. If you watch Lucy with what's her name, Scarlett Johansson, after being awakened, you'll understand the true power of the pineal gland and what they had in ancient civilization. You'll understand that. Now, it may have been exaggerated a little bit, but using 100% of your brain, I feel like they built the pyramids with their minds, honestly, because we can't still figure out how they built the pyramids. The greatness they made paint, they can't even replicate today. They can't even replicate the pyramids today to last as long. So you gotta understand, their pineal gland was the size of like a kiwi or something like that. And our pineal gland is the size of a pea. So if our pineal gland is the size of a pea, and our fullest power, we can do levitation and telepathy and things of that nature, what could they have done with this? See what I'm saying? So when you are open, your third eye is open, you'll understand that they start coming together and start making sense to you, because you see through the scope of things. You see right through things, and things start making sense to you, and your creativity and things pop out. Because I had massive creative blocks, and now things are just coming at me. You know, like shirts, ideas, clothing lines, businesses, structures. It's all coming out of me, and it's like whoa. It's like whoa. And as I was going through the Ascension, as you go through the Ascension, you won't understand what's about to happen. And what's about to happen for you is going to be amazing. Watch these movies: Lucy, Matrix, and Avatar. Like, they're noodles when you watch it through your awakening. You look at them completely different. Like with Avatar, you're like, okay, so the Avatar people are African, and I'm not racist at all, because I know people who are the white people that we're mad at aren't even the ones that we see every day. The ones we're mad at are the ones who control society. The ones we see every day are the ones that are programmed by the ones that control society to hate us. So that's where racism comes from. But, you know, Avatar, they're the Africans that have all the gold, you know, and everything like that, where Africa we come from, you know. And then you have the people who are in power that want to take over everything with Avatar. I forget what their names are in Avatar, but what they have. And then they don't care how they get it. They will murder you, they will kill you, they will bomb your shit, you know. And these people, you know, they love nature. They were so intelligent. They know how to speak to spirits. See how it makes sense now? Like, whoa, this is how our ancestors were. This is how our ancient ancestors were. And then you bring people into your area and they just bomb it. And they destroy it. And they don't give a fuck about none of that shit. So that's another one. And I have empathy for animals, because I understand they have souls now. So I don't like eating murdered animals. Now I will go and I will catch an animal and I will kill it, but I understand how to create life, and its vibration and its frequency was high all its life. So that means I'm not eating away something that had a terrible life. I just killed it for survival, or killed it, you know, and I gave it a nice death. You know, a nice death. So things that are murder and torture, I will not eat anymore, especially the food, the drugs they put into the food, and all that crap too. And you know, getting to know your spirit is a beautiful thing. You know, it really is. But you go through what they call the dark night of the soul, where you have to look at everything in you that is bad. Everything in you that is bad. And you have to literally look in the mirror and see, yo, I'm an asshole. Yo, I'm full of shit. Yo, I'm a liar. Yo, I ain't shit. Yo, I'm cheap. Yo, I'm bad with money. Yo, I don't pay my bills. Yo, I be lying all the time. Like, shit like that. You got, like, I'm just using this for example. I'm just saying. But, like, this stuff here, it's depressing, man. When you look at yourself and who you truly are sometimes. Because, you know, people trying, like, they're like, in, like, they pretty much in denial, and they don't understand who they are yet. So they literally sit around thinking that they're like the greatest person on earth, when really you're literally not. Like, you know, selfish, narcissistic, all that stuff. You have to look at that stuff. You have to literally change it every single day, and it's not going to be easy. You know, selfishness, it's not going to be easy. Anger, it's not going to be easy. Lying, it's not going to be easy. Cheating, it's not going to be easy. You know, it's not going to be easy. But you really have to look at yourself in order to change, so you can become the next version of yourself, the better version of yourself. You know, this is my ascension. This is what you could go through. This is what I went through. And I hope I use my experience to help you out for your ascension. If you want to hit me up and talk about it, hit me up. You know, I'm doing phone consultations for that. For this month, it's free. Next month, for coaching through the ascension, because I can coach you through it. But besides that, everybody have a great day. You know, my job is to invoke thought and help awaken the world's consciousness one person at a time. It would not be possible without the ascension, though. Hopefully that person is